What's up, Pulse family? How you doing? I am your host, Toby Durham, and welcome to the Pulse Weekly, brought to you by Hbculive. It is Veterans Day. We want to celebrate all veterans. Veterans Day was started on June 1st, 1954, to honor all veterans of all military branches, living and deceased. So we want to salute them. Thank you for all of your service and all that you do. As you see, we got it decked out for all of the branches here at the Pulse. We really appreciate all of your service and all that you do. Henry Funny, we appreciate you, brother. Appreciate your service. But I am also I'm sitting here with our co-host, Will the Thrill, Coach Terry. How you doing, sir?
Doing just fine, Toby. And hey to my HBCU Live, giving you the Pulse family.
Well, here it is. It is Veterans Day, Tuesday, November 11th. And, you know, veterans, they go to war and also about to go to war because it is championship week. And it's gotten exciting in the HBCU landscape. So we appreciate y'all tuning in each week, seeing us, following us. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button to follow us every time we get a notification every time we go live, so you can check the show out. But like I say, HBCU Live, the regular season is over in D2, and here it is, championship week, like we said. So we are about to go to war, like it is Veterans Day. So let's go to war here on these podcasts today. Coach, what do you think, man? You know, like, hey, the season went by so fast.
A blur, or as they say, a fart in the wind. But it was exciting, very exciting, especially being in the SIAC, getting to know these teams, getting to know the coaches, getting to know some of the players, seeing the excitement, seeing the competition. It was fabulous. The CIAA, I am very familiar with, again, gave us very much what we asked for: excitement, competitiveness, and we time for the chip. Time for the chip.
Yeah. Well, like I say, as D2 is starting to wind down, D1 schools in the MEAC and the SWAC, they're starting to heat up with their conference play. So there's a lot going on when it comes to those conferences. We got D2 action for you this week. We got a special guest this week. So, hey, it's about to get exciting. So, Post Family, strap in and make sure that you're ready to watch, because here it is, week 11 of the Post Weekly.
Let's get it.
So, now, we do our segment is called Around the Yard. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take you around the yard. And like I said, it is Veterans Day, but the war kind of started a little bit early down in Grambling, Louisiana this past Saturday, as Bethune-Cookman and Grambling State went to war after the game in a bench-clearing brawl that resulted in 27 players being suspended. Grambling State received the fine from the SWAC for $40,000. Bethune-Cookman received the fine for $25,000. Coach, do you think that was a little excessive, or, you know, you saw the footage? What are your thoughts?
It's hard. Excessive, maybe a bit, but we have a rivalry, or excuse me, two teams that's fighting to try to get into the championship, two competitive teams, hard-fought game. You hate for it to end that way. So I think it was a little excessive on the fines, being that we need all the funds that we need in the HBCU conference play. So a slap on the hand, maybe 20 for Grambling, 15. This is, or it could set an example. This is not the first fight, not in this conference, but not in the HBCU landscape. So maybe it's they're trying to set a standard or set a example. So to really encourage the coaches, staff, and everyone else involved with these teams, to encourage them to keep it on the field after the game. Hey, handshake. If you can't, if you're too bitter, too amped up, go to the locker room.
Yeah. Well, Commissioner Charles McClendon of the SWAC released a statement stating that they are extremely disappointed by the fight, and I think that they're trying to set that precedent that if these are things that you're going to do, you will be fined and punishment will be handed down. So 27 student athletes have been suspended. Fines have been done for the schools. So, like I say, moving forward, these are things that people should pay attention to moving forward. So. But like I say, it is championship week, guys. Championship in the CIAA, championship in the SIAC. We're about to come up on our CIAA coverage, and we have a special guest, Mr. Herb White from the Charlotte Post, who's here to join us today. Herb, you've seen the CIAA this year. Talk about it. What are your thoughts?
It's played out the way that the coaches predicted it would in preseason. Virginia Union was picked first. Johnson C. Smith was second, finished 3 points behind the Panthers, and lo and behold, the coaches got it right. Who would have guessed?
Hey, sometimes they get it right, sometimes they get it wrong. Well, look, Post family, we got a quick message from the CIAA. So after this message, we'll be right back with some more CIAA Circle action.
At Virginia Union University, transformation is more than a goal. It's a promise. Our students are eager to lead, driven by faith, grounded in purpose, and fueled by research and innovation. Preparing graduates to thrive in a world that's limitless. Virginia Union University, where Panthers lead. Bold futures begin here. Visit vuu.edu and apply today.
Sunshine or not, each day is full of golden opportunities. The lessons that challenge and experiences that last a lifetime. Where the brightest become brilliant in a vibrant culture. Full of spirit, thrives. Johnson C. Smith University. Grow here, glow anywhere.
2 teams. Wow. 1 game.
And it's caught.
And only 1 champion.
Big play.
Who will take home the trophy?
Goes in for the touchdown.
Will the reigning champs defend the crown?
Champion's not made on the day of the championship game.
Or will a new king rise?
He's going all the way. A way to finish it.
Johnson C. Smith takes on Virginia Union in the CIAA Championship. Saturday, November 15th, 3-2 Central.
Welcome back to the Post Weekly, and here we are, Championship Edition. It's the CIAA tournament championship this weekend in Durham, North Carolina, November 15th. We have the Johnson C. Smith Golden Bulls versus the defending champion Virginia Union Panthers. Herb, like you said a while ago, the coaches got it right, picked 1 and 2. Talk about this matchup coming up this Saturday at Durham Memorial Stadium.
Well, let me start off by saying I appreciate you folks for inviting me on, and I am honored to be in the virtual space with you. As far as the CIAA race, and it's come down to these 2 teams that the coaches figured in preseason were going to be the best of the litter, and they have been that. They have played each other already this season, and Virginia Union beat Smith 28-10 in Richmond, and that in and of itself is fueling this game, I think. How much of that momentum from September will Virginia Union remember when they step on the field Saturday? And how much of that will Smith remember when they step on the field? Or is that a flush and go moment where they just chalk that up to a loss? And that was then, this is now. One of the things that the Union has done is they've literally ran the table in the CIAA. They had 1 blemish on their record, and it was an overtime loss to Edward Waters, which shocked a lot of people because Edward Waters was rolling early and that kind of settled in, but people still remember that game. And if there's any weakness that Virginia Union has shown, that was the game that they did it. And Smith, on the other hand, has literally played the last 6 weeks in win or go home mode, where after losing to Virginia Union, the CIAA is so good now, especially at the top, that 1 loss would have really put them in a bad spot if they had a second loss, because in the head-to-head, you may as well say they were 2 games behind because Virginia Union had the tiebreaker. So they were this close to disaster every game, and they managed to run the table and did it in mostly dominant fashion. The last 2-3 weeks of the season were more nail biters, with the last-minute touchdown to beat Fayetteville State. Followed that up this past weekend by beating Livingstone in the commemorative classic, the renewal of the oldest black college football rivalry in America. They had to come from behind to win that game. But up until that point, they'd been steamrolling just about everybody that they ran into. And so the Golden Bulls have a good chunk of momentum going, and they're going to have to flush that as well. Both teams will. because this is not 2, and the stakes are way higher than they were when they got together in September.
Well, Smith hasn't been in this situation for close to 5 decades now.
53 years.
53 years. So
Richard Nixon was president.
Look at that. Oh, look, Tricky Dick was president, and now we got this.
And gasoline was 36 cents a gallon.
See, we had Tricky Dick in the office now, and we got this dick in the office here. So, hey, what we going to do, man?
Let's take it back 36 cents a gallon just for to commemorate them back in the chip. Let's take the gas back to 36 a gallon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, like you said, the Smith offense has to be able to perform if they're going to have any shot at winning.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to do is let's see if we can break down Johnson C. Smith's offense with how, because Johnson C. Smith's offense goes how Kelvin Durham goes. So
yes,
Coach, let's see if we can sit down and break down.
See if we do a little something here.
Well, hold on, we got a little Virginia Union right here.
No, we ain't ready for them yet. Smith.
There we go.
All right, here we go. Pause it right here. Now, this is Coach Flowers, who I've known now for a good 15 or more years. So we have what we call a screen. All right. Receiver screen. Okay, now, when he runs, those 2 guys right there that's coming down in front of that arrow are linemen. Typically, when you have a screen in the flats, there are receivers, at best maybe a tight end. So this poor DB, stop right there, who did not see big old giant coming in there. Now, Toby brought this out to me. Tell me the other guys, this would have been a touchdown if what happened, Toby?
If the other linebacker would have cracked back that block and stuff.
Yeah, but now that was good execution and good feet by the lineman to get out there in space and clear that lane for him. Now, right here, Lord have mercy. All right, that DB back right there is already 13 yards off. You do not let your receiver either get hip side nor behind you. All right, so go ahead and run it. All right, we stop right here. I stop right there. Look at that. Look at that. That makes no sense. Okay, so this back shot, and I want you to freeze it when it comes to this back shot. So I can explain further. Right here. Stop. All right. This gentleman, first of all, you see Durham already releasing the ball, getting pressure. That's a heck of a throw. But that drag right there going across his face is what cleared him up. But it still should not, let's pause it right quick. It still should not have allowed that receiver to get behind that DB. You have to play your position, play your assignment, and trust your teammates. So right here, back it up for me if you will. A good example of trusting your teammates. If you back it up for me, Henry, back it up for me right there. Back it up just a little bit more for me, so I can really explain to these people here before the play starts. Now that DN, did he circle the DN? Right here. Okay, that defensive end assignment is to protect the edge. Not only did he not protect the edge, he chased the running back after the fake was already executed. And now you give Durham 11-yard run. That's the Fayetteville State game. That was crucial. Good drive. Good job by Durham running the offense. And here we have who they're facing on Saturday, Virginia Union.
Now, the offense goes how Kelvin Durham goes, but the Johnson C. Smith defense, led by Vincent Hill, Daryl Tabor, Jalen Alexander, Steiny Joseph, Kadarius Stanley, they are also a force to be reckoned with. They're 9th in D2 in time of possession, so they hold on to the ball, and as long as they can hold on to the ball against Virginia Union, they may give them a chance. But when you have Agent Zero, and everybody knows what I'm talking about, that running game at VUU is ridiculous. This guy he's not an arm tackle. You can't bring him down just arm tackle. You have to really get this guy to the ground. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to ask everybody, Herb, what's your prediction for Saturday?
I have caveats, not necessarily predictions. If Smith can improve on what they did against Curtis Allen in the first game, his lowest output of the season was against Smith, 108 yards. scored 4 touchdowns. And Virginia Union was 4 for 4 in the red zone, touchdowns. Smith was 1 for 3. There's the difference in the game. So if they can limit Allen and cut out the touchdowns in the red zone, Smith has more than a puncher's chance, because I think that offense is worth more than 10 points. So I expect knuckle dragging, close game, and Smith, if they can hold Curtis Allen, pull it out.
Well, folks, there you have it. From Herb White himself, from the Charlotte Post. Brother, we appreciate having you today. And you heard it, Josh C. Smith, Golden Bulls may be the CIAA champions.
We'll see.
We're going to see. We're going to take time out for a PSA from the MEAC. We'll be right back.
There is a conference where the student and student athlete still matters, where geography means something, and where rivalries are measured in decades, not dollars. In this conference, we push one another to greater heights on the field, the court, the track, and in the classroom. Here, we stay true to our values, and we stay true to each other. The Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference, where champions are made.
Resilience, community, progress. These values define HBCUs and guide our mission to create spaces that bring people together for a better tomorrow. Since 2009, we've partnered with institutions and communities, investing over $15 million and awarding hundreds of grants across our campus improvement, innovation lounge, and community project grants to spark meaningful change nationwide. Each year, we built on that legacy, activating transformative projects across several HBCU campuses to create spaces where students can live, learn, and thrive. As Retool Your School marches forward, we remain steadfast in shaping a future where every student's potential can flourish. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
How did I get to the place I always imagined myself? Was it my hard work, my perseverance, my sheer sense of optimism, outside the box thinking? Or was it the timeless memories that I want to relive over and over, no matter what it was? Norfolk State University helped make my future real. A future where anything is possible. A future beyond my wildest dreams. And it all started here, Norfolk State University. We see the future in you.
Welcome back to the Post Weekly. We are ready for our MEAC momentum. The MEAC is heating up in the standings. Conference play has started. We have a surprise at the top at the Delaware State Hornets, sitting at 3-0 and 7-3 overall. Nobody thought at the beginning of the season this was going to happen, but Deshaun Jackson has the Hornets ready to sting some people out there. Followed by the South Carolina State Bulldogs, who took care of Howard this weekend, 42-12. They are also 3-0 in the conference and 7-3 overall. Looking for a showdown this weekend against the North Carolina Central Eagles in Durham. Speaking of those Eagles, they are 2-1, 7-3 overall. Not having a bad season, just fell against Delaware State a few weeks back. Then you got Howard at 1-2, 4-6 overall. Morgan State and Norfolk 0-3 in the conference. So we're going to kind of see them at the bottom right now. But this past Friday night, Dale State traveled to Baltimore, Maryland to take on the Morgan State Bears. This was a defensive battle, so to speak. Dale State jumped out early to a 7-0 lead, and then the Morgan State Bears just clamped down on defense. Head coach Damon Wilson, former Bowie State head coach, he has really got this Morgan State defense on. If they can get the offense together, I think they can win some more games. What do you think, Coach?
I agree. And they necessarily didn't stack the box too much. They knew Gillis was going to be the engine that drives Dale State, drives those Hornets. Okay, so they played assignment football. And again, like to piggyback off what you said, if they can get production off the offense, and he is a championship coach coming from Bowie. He got championship experience. He got wins under his belt. So stepping up to the next level with Morgan State in that same area, I can see him getting the right pieces that he needs on the other side of the ball, offense, as you said, that he needs to get this puzzle completed. They can be a threat, and we'll see if he can get those type of guys in there during the offseason. But they played a heck of a game, man, especially on the defense side of the ball.
Well, on the defensive side of the ball, they kept Dell State to their lowest rushing output all season with 114 yards.
Right.
They are averaging about 260 to 300 yards a game, so that is big news to hold them there, and then to be able to keep them in range to keep the game close and to miss the field goal at the end of the game, that speaks volumes which direction Morgan State is going in the conference, but I think the offense needs to get rolling a little bit more in order and it was also raining at the game too, right, which made it a more difficult for passing and for special teams, so it made it a more physical game. But Caden Bennett was 16 for 24, 169, 2 INTs. James Jones was 13 for 115 yards rushing and a touchdown. So Dell State is 3-0 and looking to make some noise in the conference. Another game that we got a chance to go take a look at was Michael Vick and those Norfolk State Spartans traveled to Durham to take on the North Carolina Central Eagles. Great game. I was excited to see Vic, coaching in action. I feel like the players, they play for him. They are enthusiastic. They got energy. It's just I want them to be more disciplined. Okay. Norfolk State had the opportunity to take this game, but so many penalties. There was 20 penalties. 20 for 167 yards in this game, and you only lost by 3 points.
Exactly.
Otto Coons, he got knocked out of the game early in the fourth. But before he left, he was 18 for 26, 197 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 INT. He threw the rock around to 7 different receivers before he went out. He spreads that ball around.
Yes, he does. And again, I remember when you texted me, discipline. Asking about the game, you said discipline. And I immediately knew one of these teams don't have control over their players. But when I looked at the stats, 20 penalties, double what Central had. 10 is bad. Let's be real. 10 is bad, which Central had. So you double that with 20 and you lose by 3, that has to hurt. And Michael Vick, I bet he knows exactly what's going on, and trust me, he's on them and his staff, coaching staff, to make sure they play within the whistle, keep their discipline, keep their energy on the positive, not the negative. What I say, the last reaction gets going to get the infraction. The last reaction gets the infraction. Period.
Right. But I'm not taking any away from Coach Trey Oliver and the Central Eagles. They played a game. They played tough. Walker Harris, he stayed in there. He was 24 for 39, 265 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. But like I say, for the game to be that close with that many penalties from Norfolk, that just speaks volumes about how much you can shoot yourself in the foot. Right. And that may be the reason for the 1-9 record on the season. Because Kevon King, number 9, the running back from Norfolk, 8 carries for 149 yards. That man is a monster.
And that's 8 carries. I need for 149. I need to see 16, 17 more. But not sure why the carries were limited. But I would like to think that he would, going forward, he would get more touches, because that's astronomical. 8 carries and you hitting the buckets of change. Feed them. Feed them, Simo.
Well, like I say, they feed them, Simo. Well, like I say, they have to get a short memory, because wipe that slate clean, because those Bulldogs from Orangeburg are coming to town on Friday. And when the season started, we had this game circled as this is going to be the determinant of who's going to the Celebration Bowl and the MEAC. Them guys in Dover, Delaware said, wait a second, don't forget about us. This is South Carolina State's coming in, and I believe, because I'm all about coaching, Chennis Berry is going to have his Bulldogs ready to go, because they are decent on all 3 phases of the ball. So that's Yeah, I think South Carolina State's about to go in there and take that one. We have other games in the MEAC as far as Hampton. Howard is going to take on Morgan State this weekend.
We want them back.
Yeah, I want him back. See, I want him back. Excuse me. Howard is going to take on Delaware State in Dover, Delaware this weekend. Morgan State is going to take on Norfolk in Virginia. And I don't see Dale State having a problem with Howard. The Norfolk Morgan State game, both of them are winless, both of them looking for their first conference games this year.
I think Morgan State will grab that one.
Yeah, coming out this weekend, you can have one-loss teams, or you can have undefeated teams. And I'm looking to have 2 undefeated teams in Dale State and South Carolina State.
I have picked Central, and I'm going to stay with Central. I think they're going to cause some chaos. So I think that they'll get an upset victory over South Carolina State, and that'll be it.
All right. Well, we're going to take this quick commercial break for the SIAC, and we'll be back with the SWAC, and we'll be right back.
Founded in 1920, the Southwestern Athletic Conference has produced some of the most iconic names in sports. Alabama A&M, Alabama State, Alcorn State, Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M, Grambling State, Jackson State, Mississippi Valley State, Prairie View A&M, Southern, Texas Southern, and the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff have united to embark on a new era of greatness. The Southwestern Athletic Conference, building champions for life.
We are exactly what you think. We are not at all what you think. We are shared history. Proud, enduring, essential. We are a powerful present, often imitated, but, well, you know the rest. We are a limitless future, opening new doors, new ways, new everything. We are past, present, and future, all in one. Because the best way to honor our history is to make history. General Motors, honored to sponsor the Southwestern Athletic Conference.
Alabama State University, the place where history is made. With over 60 accredited degree programs and 18 intercollegiate athletic programs, we've focused on student success for more than 150 years. Our rich legacy is built by the history makers of today, shaping the leaders of tomorrow. Alabama State University, where your future begins and history continues to be made.
All right, Post Family, welcome back. We are in our SWAC overview to focus on the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Take a look at the standings right now. Jackson State is on top of the East at 5-1. They hold the tiebreaker over Alabama State, where they defeated them earlier in the season, who are also 5-1. Bethune-Cookman took a tumble this past weekend to Grambling State, 23-31. So now they're at 4-2. Followed by FAMU, Alabama A&M, and Mississippi Valley. In the West, Prairie View leads everything at 5-1. They kind of in the driver's seat as they hold wins over Grambling and Texas Southern, who are following right up under them at 4-2 and 3-3 respectively. Alcorn State followed by Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Southern. This conference is starting to pan out the way we thought it was beginning of the season. Jackson State was picked to win it all in the beginning of the year, but seeing Prairie View at the top, Coach, what do you think about that?
What I think is good coaching by Tremaine Jackson. Brothers. No, but seriously, come from Valdosta State, right? Winning program, winning pedigree, and stepped in and brought that to Prairie View. First year out the gate, he's going. Again, we didn't see this coming. I didn't. even double down on it. We said East going to get it. It just depends on who's coming out between Jackson State, Alabama State, possibly FAMU, which dropped the ball, A&M, and Bethune. Right now, Jackson State is in the driver's seat, but Tremaine Jackson has these guys playing ball. Could have had a upset victory against Alabama State. Cameron Peters threw 4 picks in that game, and it still was a ball game. Came back, right the ship, and beat the brakes off of Alabama A&M. So they are in the driver's seat. At this point, I don't think it's just a sure win from the East. I think Prairie View can get into that chip and make a little noise. Possibly.
Okay. Well, they say they have already beaten Grambling. They've already beaten Texas Southern. But Grambling's sitting there at 7-3 overall, 4-2 in the SWAC. They're surprising some people as well.
Yeah. Again, Southern. See, the problem is Southern was replaced. Alcorn State was also picked to be the top 2. They're slide at the bottom. They slid up Texas Southern. Prairie View lead the gauntlet, and then you have Grambling, who's playing some good ball. The upset victory out in Vegas against Jackson State. Beat Bethune-Cookman. If they at least had a win over Prairie View or Texas Southern, they will still have a dog in the fight, but it's kind of hard for them to get into that with Prairie View having only 1 loss. And again, as you said, also lost to Texas Southern, who's ahead of them.
Right. Well, like I say, head coach Mickey Joseph has got the Grambling Tigers focused in the right way. And I think that momentum off of that Jackson State win has really gotten them refocused for the season. They pulled off 4 straight wins right now. So, like I say, and they just beat Bethune,
Right.
But how will the suspension affect them moving forward? So
we'll
have to see. We have to see what that does.
We're going to see.
Okay. FAMU took care of UAB over the weekend. Alabama State beat Texas Southern. Southern lost to Alcorn State again, so they're 0-6 in the conference. Your runners-up for the conference last year are now 0-6 in the conference this year. So things have really turned heads over heels over down there in Baton Rouge. This weekend we have Jackson State versus Bethune. Before the loss to Grambling, this game would have been, had more spunk to it or more cause to it, being that Bethune-Cookman didn't lose, but being that they did, Bethune-Cookman would have to beat Jackson State this weekend and hope for an Alabama State loss to stay in contention for the East title.
Exactly. And again, you have the suspensions as well. We don't know how that's going to affect their roster, their schemes, their game plan. So that sucks going into a game like this. But next man up, hopefully they have a plug-and-play system. So we'll see how that. But you're talking about Jackson State. That's a tough one. So I don't see Jackson State losing that one. Good luck, Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah, and I think they're getting back healthy too. I think quarterback Morgan. I think he's coming back healthy. So I think Coach TC Taylor's ready for him. I don't think they're missing the beat. So we'll see how it goes. Andrew Body, he was out this past weekend. What's his name? Tashawn Smoot, the freshman quarterback, came in. You talked last week about would he be able to fill in or how they would change up. I don't think they missed a beat. Winning 42-24 over Texas Southern. Now this weekend, if I was Coach Eddie Robinson, I would rest Body again this weekend because you're playing Mississippi Valley State this weekend. And,
I agree with you, man. Not to look down on Mississippi Valley State, but give him some more rest. Allow him another week to get healthier, and see if Bethune can put off an upset. Because you're still in the hunt. So you will need him if you can get to that championship. So give him rest. And again, they didn't shorten the playbook at all for the pup. Pup got there and did his thing.
Yes, he did.
Pup got there and did his thing. So
yes,
I think they can go. I think they give him some rest and let Pup give him another victory.
And give him some more reps again, before next year.
Yeah, most definitely.
Give him the feel of live game action and things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next up, we have the Prairie View Panthers versus the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions. We just talked about Tremaine Jackson and the job that he's done down there at Prairie View. Cameron Peters, like I say, if he didn't throw the 4 picks against Alabama A&M, they may be a little bit, that loss in the conference wouldn't even show them right now. They'll still be undefeated.
Right.
But this defense, I think the way this defense goes, this team is going to go. And it might be a better game when it comes to the SWAC championship game, against this Prairie View, because, like I say, he was at Valdosta last year. And now he's at the reins at Prairie View, and I think they made a very good hire at Prairie View. So hats off to the administration and the athletic department over there at Prairie View.
Yes, sir. And then didn't you tell me he was coach of the year last year?
He's coach of the year in D2 and
D2.
And lost the national D2 championship to Ferris State when he was at Valdosta.
Yeah, so bring that pedigree up in there. So yeah, good job.
Yeah. Also this weekend we have the Southern Jaguars going to Houston to take on the Texas Southern Tigers. Chris Dishman and his boys are going to be ready. I think they're going to be looking like Southern's looking like a plate on Thanksgiving to a homeless person. They about to eat them all. They about to eat them up.
Somebody find bills. Not those stones or poke fun, but unfortunately, Southern is in a rebuild mode already. So we'll see if they can at least put some fight on the field. Texas Southern is still in the hunt, so they're not going to look past these guys. They're not going to assume because their coach got fired in the middle of the season and they're not what they're supposed to be. They're not running the gauntlet on the West as they're supposed to and look past them. They're not going to do that. Dishman is a veteran of football in the NFL. He's been around, so he knows how to communicate to those players, get your behind on them on Sunday, and not take them for granted and finish the job. So I think this is going to be a blowout, 21 points at least.
Well, we'll see come Saturday, but the FAMU Rattlers are going to Huntsville to take on the Alabama A&M Bulldogs. Coach Colsey from FAMU, he's done a better job with his team later on. I think they were probably dealing with injuries, uncertainties about the program, but I think he's starting to right the ship. And I'm looking for the Rattlers to take this one. Coach Shade over at Alabama A&M, he did a great job at Miles, but he's having some growing pains over there in Huntsville right now. So I'm looking for Colsey and the FAMU Rattlers to take this game.
Oh, yeah, me too as well. Got R.J. Johnson III, his favorite target, Jordan Edwards. I'm not trying to bring my pick back. They're actually still sneaky in the hunt. They lost to Alabama State, but they have yet to play Jackson State, who already has a loss. So if they can get that win, they can make things interesting in that East.
It does. Well, we have a game in the West, Alcorn State versus Grambling. So we'll see how that goes. Coach Mikey Johnson, we'll see how that goes. We're going to take a quick commercial break and bring you some SIAC information, and we'll be right back.
In communities where leaders are forged and legacies are born, the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference proudly celebrates the accomplishments of current and former students. From the playing field to the boardroom, they are the next generation of entrepreneurs, doctors, and executives.
Leaders rise here. Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Leaders rise here.
Here at Tuskegee University, some of our historical figures like Booker T. Washington, George Washington Carver, those are some of the people that created or started that Tuskegee experience.
This place is so different. You have a support system, a real support system. We may ball and parlay, but the most important thing we do is graduate. And after we graduate, we accelerate in everything we do.
Resilience, community, progress. These values define HBCUs and guide our mission to create spaces that bring people together for a better tomorrow. Since 2009, we partner with institutions and communities, investing over $15 million and awarding hundreds of grants across our campus improvement, innovation lounge, and community project grants to spark meaningful change nationwide. Each year, we built on that legacy, activating transformative projects across several HBCU campuses to create spaces where students can live, learn, and thrive. As Retool Your School marches forward, we remain steadfast in shaping a future where every student's potential can flourish. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Welcome back, close family. It is now time for some SIAC Southern swagger. And the swagger that they got down there in Atlanta, Georgia is championship caliber. Okay? Albany State sitting at the conference at 8-0, 9-1 overall. Will take on the Benedict Tigers sitting at 7-1, 9-1 in the SIAC football championship this weekend. Kentucky State, hats off to you guys. You know, Thoroughbreds sitting there at 7-1 in the conference. Their only loss was to Albany State this year, and they lost to Grambling earlier in the year in overtime. Hats off to you guys. The Thoroughbreds played a hell of a season this year.
Good job, Coach Huggins. Oh, Huggy Bear.
Yeah, Huggy Bear. Great job. This weekend, the SIAC championship game goes down in Albany, Georgia. The number 17 ranked Albany State Golden Rams taking on the 23rd ranked Benedict Tigers. The only loss of the season was to Albany State, so the Tigers from Benedict are looking for a little revenge. Darius Ocean, he's leading this offense, but I think this defense from Benedict has to step up if they want to have any shot at winning this game.
Most definitely had to step up because Albany State has that defense, and as well as Ocean. If he can be more efficient and limit his mistakes as well, this will be a different game. And now, because you took a good L at home, they had to travel to Albany State to try to snatch that crown, and they are not trying to have that. So all phases of football, as you say, no situation of football that needs to be an excuse when you come back to Columbia, South Carolina. Special teams, defense, and offense needs to be clicking, and execution is going to be key for them to grab this win from Albany State.
Yeah. Albany State is 6th in D2 in total defense. So they're the top out of all the teams in D2. They're in the top 6 that limits their opposite team from scoring. Last year they went from averaging 24 points a game versus opponents to this year down to 12. They have cut that in half. They are not allowing anybody in the red zone. They're not allowing anybody first downs. That defense is serious. And for anybody who thought that they were underrated, Coach Quinn wants everybody to know we don't care. We care about the outside noise. We know what goes on in the locker room. And those Albany State Golden Rams are probably going to be ready for Benedict this Saturday.
Good luck, Coach Dickinson.
Yeah. Oh, listen, you know what I'm saying? Friend of the show, Coach Dickinson,
yes,
like he's going to have Benedict ready. You know,
yeah.
And I think they're going to do a better output than what they did back on the 25th of October.
I think so as well.
They thought that they were going to play somebody, but Benedict ran into a buzzsaw that day, you know. But hey, you know, every day, you know, people get punched in the mouth. Everybody got a plan to get punched in the mouth, and they were undefeated at that time, but then got punched in the mouth, and then kind of said, "Hey, okay, we can be touched." So hopefully they went back to the drawing board, and they will put a better offensive performance on the board.
Well, I think so as well.
You know, led by linebacker Demetrius Patterson, Israel Nokodaya. These guys are ready on that defensive side of the ball at Benedict. So, like I said, we'll see. But then you got guys on Albany State's team who
yes, sir.
They are just you got your Robert Floyds, you know, you got your Derek Draytons. These guys come to play. And Coach Quinn Gray has them they're flying all over the field. They've cut 12 points off per game since last year.
Yeah. He found players that got a good nose for the football. That's what he did.
Yeah. And remember, at Media Day, they were talking about how they had to limit certain situations.
Right.
Cutting out 12 points, that helps a lot.
That's a big turnaround from the previous year. That's a big turnaround. And what you say, offense put butts in the seats, defense win championships. Right. And he focused on that. Again, from 24 to 12, that's a heck of a job by him and the D coordinator and all those guys who actually come out and execute the scheme that was put in place. He got guys out there flying around to the ball, physical, trusting each other, sticking to their assignments. Hands out. Now, Benedict gonna really have to come down there and put on a good show and execution to come back to Columbia with that chip.
Right. They got to limit turnovers. They got to limit mistakes.
Everything.
Jackson Williams is their all-conference returner. If he can get loose and get Benedict in better field position,
that'd be key.
That may give them the opportunity to win the game. Taking advantage of those situational football on that phase of special teams, getting better field position, keeping Ocean, not putting everything on Ocean.
Exactly.
Because I think if too much gets on his shoulders, then he makes the errant throws, turnovers, and then that's your ball game.
Right, and then that means if everything's on Ocean, that means you're one-dimensional and you're playing right into the hand of Albany State's defense. So you're going, like you said, everybody going to have to chip in. It can't just be a one-person show. And that's a good point you made. Special teams, that field position, it can really be key. Be key.
Right. Well, I really believe both these teams are going to be going to the D2 playoffs, so this won't be the last game. But to win that championship, Thrill, talk about what did he feel as a player to try to win that chip? What is this week like going for the athletes leading up to Saturday?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't won. Unfortunately, I had some bad seasons, but I had some chips too at a younger age. So when you're going into that, you go back and reflect on everything, the blood, sweat, and tears, as we call it, to get you to that Saturday, that Friday, that Sunday, to bring home that trophy. Okay, everything that you worked, everything I got to prove my love, everything that you work for. All right, your family, because it's a family. So those summer practice things that the fans don't see, that the players put in Monday through Friday or Monday through Saturday, it's serious. The conditioning is a little watered down now because it's been limited, but it is, you got to get your nerves together. The coach's main thing is focus. All right, because you got media, you have travel, although Albany State is at home, campus, you got pep rallies and things of this nature. You need to be focused on that Saturday, So it's the butterflies in your stomach. Is they're bumping and jumping. You can't wait to, and you're going back, and they played each other before. So you're going back, what I didn't do, or just focus and let that go. Let's play. Let's have fun. At the end of the day, let's have fun. The chips fall within me.
Right. Well, like I said, I'm looking forward to an exciting game. Before the season, nobody ever thought that Benedict would be in the position that they are. But like you said, Coach Dickinson has done a great job down there in Columbia of getting the Benedict Tigers back to where they were. They had a down season last year, and like I said, we spoke about that before. But now they're in a position where they can actually go from worst to first, basically.
Exactly.
In 1 year turnaround, and the transfers that he got in, this new coaches that he got in, the program's under his thumb now, and he's had the opportunity to build it in a way, and it goes. His hat should go his name should go in the hat for Coach of the Year as well.
Most definitely.
Now, to be honest, it's going to be the number 10 scoring defense in the country versus the number 4 scoring defense in the country. Albany State's number 4, Benedict's number 10. So these offenses are going to have some problems when it comes to scoring. Albany State didn't last time, but the adjustments that Benedict makes this time, we're going to see. So we'll probably have a better game than the blowout that we did in Columbia back on the 25th.
I believe so.
Coach Quinn and Coach Dickerson, they're about to bring their A games when it comes to coaching this week, getting everybody settled and saying, hey, we got one opportunity to go get a championship here, and once they get a championship, nobody can take that away from you. So it's going to be a very good matchup between both schools. But at the end of the day, chess match, right? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to put my hat on the Albany State Golden Rams to take the SIAC championship.
I seized that. What's that? Seize the word. Who, boy? I'm gonna go out there, man. And you ain't supposed to go with your heart, but I'm gonna do it. Dickinson, go get that thing. Go down there and grab it. Go down there and grab it.
So you say, you calling it now? Benedict's taking that chip.
Deep pump, 24-21.
Hot nose. Hey,
come on.
Hey, y'all don't know, but behind the scenes we have bets and everything, so we'll let y'all know next week how it goes.
My man Poker, let it ride.
All right. Well, now we're moving on to the legacy lane. We have a school down in Miami that we all would like to attend because we all want to go to Miami and be on the beach.
Yeah, yes, sir. On the beach, boy.
But we have the Florida Memorial Lions, located in Miami Gardens, Florida. Now they lost this past weekend to Ave Maria University 44-39, and brings their overall record this season on 4-5, but they're 4-2 in the conference. So Florida Memorial, they are an HBCU that just came up from D3 some years ago. Now they're in D2. They are getting their program back, and they're actually doing some good things down there in Florida, in the Miami Gardens area. So if you're ever in town and you want to go check out a game, please stop by Florida Memorial and see what they got. They got one more game in their football season, and that will be this weekend against St. Thomas University at the Battle of Miami Gardens, and they compete in the Sun Conference. Hampton, my Hampton Pirates, my Hampton by the Bay Pirates. Yeah, I don't know what to say about y'all. I can't because they know more than me, and they are in the SAA, and they still have not won a game in the conference. They are 0-6. They just lost this past weekend to Maine, 35-7. I can't do it.
The bedroom's still there. I said last week, we have not changed the room. It's just how you left it. Come on back. Come on.
What you want to do? We're gonna go down. Go ahead.
We put a new comfort on the bed for you. Come on home, man. But seriously, man, come home. I understand. We say all money is not good money. We're gonna say it every time. It's not to poke fun at them or talk junk. It's just we can beef up our conference. You know, why we got to go over there? Let them come to us. Come on home and show them how we get down in the HBCU world. You know,
show the North Carolina Aggies how they lost again this past weekend to Stony Brook, 38-12, and I think it was like 36-0 at halftime. But don't quote me on that. But once again, they lost again, and now they are sitting at 2-4. They're 2-8 overall. All their wins come from HBCUs, but they don't want to play against HBCUs. That's all you get your wins against. But hey, what do I know? Tennessee State, Reggie Barlow and the guys. Like I said, when Eddie George was there at Tennessee State, you know, at least their program was starting to win a little bit. But as soon as he left, it's starting to go down now, and they're 0-6 in their conference. 2-8 overall, and both of their wins, surprisingly, come against HBCUs. So they got to go back. They got 2 more games in their schedule. It's not looking good. They're already 0-6, so they'll flatline Tennessee State, flatline North Carolina A&T, flatline Hampton, Florida Memorial. We rock it with you. Y'all still got a heartbeat because y'all are actually winning.
And let me say this, please. We're not saying come back to an easier conference. Like, we shouldn't be able to compete with those other conferences, the PWIs. We're saying come back and let's beef up our conference. And we'll do non-conference against those PWIs and show them how it's done. You know, let's come home and put a plan together, get the recruits, our people that's beefing up those PWIs. Come on home. You know, you're going over there with soft money and getting towed down. Come on, man. Come on home.
Now, I hear you wholeheartedly, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. But look what you're asking. You're asking black folks to actually work together. And
that's what we here. That's what we here for. That's what we here for. We're trying to right the ship, man.
And we work with black folks working together over here. So
we're gonna take a swing at it.
We're gonna take it. Uh-oh. Somebody need Tylenol?
Yeah,
somebody need somebody. What do you take for your heart? You need a bear. You need a bear. You need a bear aspirin.
The baby aspirin.
It is health check time, and we are at the end of the regular season for D2. So teams of Virginia Union, Johnson C. Smith, Benedict, Albany State, Kentucky State, Fayetteville State. Yeah, you guys have heartbeats. You know, your season, your blood is flowing, the season is going, and you're thriving. You know, at the beginning of the season, Kentucky State, Benedict, nobody thought that you would be where you're at, but you didn't listen to the naysayers. You stick to the script each week, and look where you're at. You're thriving. You're on your way to championship games. You're on your way to D2 playoffs. You're thriving. But then we have teams who they started out and they wanted to run the ball, but they just ran out of time.
That's like this I wish raindrops would fall.
But it's so hard to say goodbye to
what
2025 season. Edward Waters, gone. Fort Valley State, gone. Savannah State, gone. Tuskegee,
that's it, gone.
Central State,
that's it, gone.
Miles,
that's it, gone.
And I hate to say it, Morehouse, because y'all actually had a great season.
Hey, shout out, man, for real.
Yeah, y'all actually had a great season. Miles Scott, we see you, brother. You balled out, you know, in the Morehouse Blue Tigers. Yes, y'all did.
Yes, it did.
The CIAA. Shaw. Night. Matter of fact, they better play a championship where y'all play actual. You know what I'm saying? So maybe y'all may watch that. You know, that'll be good for y'all. Bowie, gone. Bluefield State, congratulations on your first conference wins since the 60s, but gone. Livingstone, gone. Winston-Salem State Rams.
I can't say this with conviction, although it is what it is, man, but shout out to Coach Massey, man. We love you, friend and family. He'll be all right, but they are gone.
Yes, shout out to Coach Robert Massey. You know, he put his resignation in, but you know what? We still rocking with you. You still our coach, brother.
Yes, sir.
Virginia State, season done. But hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I say, that's why you play the game. No matter what anybody says, you got to go out there and you have to produce. You know, people talk junk about our show, but we are coming out here and we are producing. And we are trying to show everybody that we can and we will put a nice piece of show together, put it on the platform, and this is what can be done when guys work together and things, you know. So if you're out there, if you're heading on to the D2 playoffs, congratulations. If you're not, we flatlined you. The MEAC, Morgan State, 0-3. You only got 6 games in the conference, so you got to win out.
I don't get it flatline.
That's flatline.
They'll get somebody.
They flatline. We also got Mississippi Valley State.
Oh, they flatline.
Southern flatlined. So, guys.
What about Norfolk State?
Norfolk State, we flatlined them the other week.
Oh, yeah, we sure did. My bad, man.
Yeah, don't beat a dead horse.
Oh, shout out to Juwan Mack, my guy. He's in the Navy, man. Admiral, Veterans Day, Henry as well. Again, love you, man.
Yes. Staff Sergeant Willie Moore, love you, brother. Love you, Uncle Willie. All the veterans, have a great day. Pulse family, we'll see y'all next week. Peace.